question by this viewer who is asking about activism. Do you think that perhaps you're getting mauled into the older, boomers type of activism, that then the new age or new life, or how the fresh blood that perhaps people would expect to see, that Kasmel was speaking to earlier, the expectation is not as had been expected?
Yeah, my biggest worry is that we were trying to do systemic change. Because my position on this particular matter has always been that changing the leaders in themselves is not a solution to the problem. This is more of a systemic problem. And I even tweeted about it and asked, should we be removing President William Ruto alone, or should we be removing the system that makes people like President William Ruto president? Because at the end of the day, if we do not accept that this is a systemic problem, we are not going to solve it. So I do believe that our activism has played a huge role in terms of bringing civic education closer to people, and them having a better understanding of how their government is run and what they should expect from government. But I don't believe that our activism has had any impact on the political leadership of our country. I don't think that our president, now because of our activism, is now speaking more truth than lies, or that he has now better managed the economy, or that extrajudicial killing and abduction has stopped because of the Gen Z activism, or that theft and wastage of public funds has stopped because of the Gen Z activism. So in terms of political change and in terms of governance change, nothing has happened. Things are still the same. Most of what they say in public and commit in public just ends there. It really never gets done, because even the president committed himself that abductions, Imambo abductions, itaisha, and just recently bodies were retrieved from city mortuaries of people who disappeared on the 17th of December and that now have been found dead. So in my thinking, there are two parts to this story: the government story and the people's story. On government, nothing has changed. The leaders are still behaving the same way. But on the part of the people, I'd like to agree with Dismas that the people have become more exposed, more aware, and that we are going to see a change in terms of how they make their decisions. What probably I like to say is, the Gen Zs, me being one of them, I want to encourage them not to be just voters, but to also offer themselves for leadership. Because, sometimes you complain so much, but you're not offering yourself to be a solution to the problem. So, you see what Morara is doing wrong. But are you able to step up and step in and say that I'm going to take up this space and I'm going to participate in leadership? Okay. And one of the biggest barriers towards young people participating in politics is about the cost of doing politics in Kenya. Politics is very, very expensive. It is extremely expensive. If I tell you how much I've spent just from September to date on politics, it's about...
Are you doing politics or activism?
It's political activism. So I don't see the difference.
How much you are at the figures?
You see, activism is seeking change. Politics is just a science of influence. You're just influencing people. But when you are a political activist, you are influencing people towards social political change. It has costed more than 13 million.
Really?
Yes, that's what Inject Party has spent just since September to now. Now, how many young people can afford that or have that kind of money? I will tell you that it is 1% of the population. Most of the young people don't have jobs. They don't have businesses. They can't even be given loans in banks. So if you look at the expense of becoming a politician or of taking leadership or becoming a member of parliament or a senator, even if you don't dish out money to people, just traveling and logistics, the millions is something that young people do not have. So if they don't step up and step in and start changing the story of campaign financing in our politics, they are never going to have a chance. They will be complainers. Then after complaining, they vote for the same people they've been complaining about.
Let me take it to Hezbollah and then to Dismas. You seem to disagree.